fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now, get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Kyu's show here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya and Class 1A. Now, Izuku Midoriya, him and Class 1A are currently at the Forest Training Camp, and they are all getting ready for an attack from the villains. Now, there is someone who specifically showed up here, and they want to make sure their family is in good hands. Especially since the last time they trusted a man with a fire quirk, a lot of bad things happened. Now, with that being said, we do have Toya Todoroki, who has showed up at the forest to evaluate Izuku Midoriya. That guy has saved his sister's life twice, and from what he does understand, isn't currently in a relationship with his sister, most likely by Endeavor's hands. Now, this is what he does believe. Wholeheartedly, there's no way his sister would fall for a guy with a quirk like their dad's. And it pisses him off just the thought about it. The same fate that happened to their mother is going to happen to his little sister. And that idea makes his blood boil with rage. Now, with all of that, we do currently have Izuku Midoriya, who is flying overhead in his regular clothing. Him looking around to see exactly what's going on with the forest. Now, Midoriya, he does hear the heroes start to talk, as everyone is going on and on about how Kota is still in the forest, and he is currently in trouble. Now, Midoriya, he does think, crap, that kid, where is he? Shit, if he gets hurt down there. No. Now, Midoriya, he does begin to start flying around the forest, as he does eventually see a large mountain begin to crumble. Midoriya turning that way as he does start to fly at high speeds. Now, as Midoriya is doing this, he does look down, as a large burst of flames does fly directly by Midoriya's right. Midoriya swerving to his left to avoid the flames that would have been too close to him. Now, Midoriya, he does continue to fly straight, as he does come up to where Muscular is, him currently holding Kota by his arm, telling the kid to scream, since no one is going to hear him. Now, you do have Midoriya, who he does scream out to let him go as he does come in and rocket his arm backwards behind his body. Muscular looking at that as he does begin to laugh. This guy has a flying quirk. Are you kidding me? And he thinks a small little punch is going to... This being where Midoriya, he does collide the fist into Muscular's face, as hard as possible. Muscular caught off guard that Midoriya just knocked him clear away from Kota, him dropping the kid as he sent flying backwards into the wall. Now, as it does happen, Midoriya, he does begin to start activating his flames, and allowing them to completely cover Muscular. Now, you do have Muscular, who, after quickly getting back up, he does simply just pat himself off. The immense amount of strength he does have, he can create small shockwaves, and just simply slapping that onto a bunch of muscle fibers, It doesn't really do very much damage. However, it does cause a massive gust of wind that can blow away any flame. Now, as it does happen to Midoriya, who he does bring his hand out in front of Koda and tell him to run whenever he does give the signal. What? What about you? That guy's a monster! Listen, kid. Right now, I'm not worried about me. Just run. The moment I rush him, you need to go. Down that hill. It's a bit of a tumble, but I don't think you'll break anything. You got it? But what about... Listen to me. You are more important right now. Now, as Midoriya, he does say that he does step off, flying directly towards Muscular, telling him that he's not going to give up. So you're going to be like that, aren't you? Muscular rushing towards and talking about how he feels like he's heard about him before. Now, Midoriya, he pulls out all the stops he does have. He creates an invisible wall in front of Muscular. Muscular slamming into it with his chest as he just feels something smash him directly from the right. And then he feels it to the left. Now, Muscular, he is shocked, throwing his fist out in front of him as he does begin to start punching away at the walls. And you do have Midoriya, who he does then go to bring his hand up before smashing it down. Midoriya forming two invisible walls that do directly smash onto Muscular. As Midoriya, he does also then bring up his hand and move it in a way that shows that he's pulling a wall behind Muscular. Now, as it is happening to Midoriya, who he does begin to start bringing his hands together. As Muscular, he does look up to see that. Ask Midoriya exactly what is his plan. Now, Midoriya's nose does begin to bleed, as Midoriya would inform Muscular that his plan's quite simple. He's here to distract him. Really? That's it? Muscular does say. Him beginning to increase the muscle fibers covering his body. Midoriya watching this guy get larger and larger, as cracks are beginning to form in his constructs. Midoriya trying to create larger and better ones. Come on, come on. It has to hold. Okay, maybe this technique could work. Shit, it could kill him though. That's a risk. Okay. Maybe. If I light the box on fire, it will suck out all the oxygen all at once. However, depressurization, what it does to a human body is not good. It's not pretty. Shit. Now, Midoriya, he is thinking. As you do have Dabi, who does walk up. Now, Midoriya would see him out of the corner of his eye. Midoriya directly turning, as he does still have his hands directly there together. Who are you? You're Izuku Midoriya, correct? Yeah? What about it? Midoriya looking directly back at Muscular. Seems like you're in a bit of predicament. He does say. Now, Midoriya does think. That guy's face. It looks familiar. Where has he seen it? Dabi beginning to walk closer. You know, I was hoping to have a nice conversation with you. But you didn't stop. You just dodged my flames and kept flying. Flames? Wait, those blue ones in the sky? His face looks familiar and he has flames. Blue? Wait, the only time I've ever seen anyone else use blue flames is... You're... What? You're... Toya Todoroki? You're alive? No, wow. Haven't heard that name in years. Then again, how do you know who I am? He does say, bringing up his left hand and aiming it directly at Midoriya. Now, you're going to leave my sister alone. What are you talking about? Midoriya's nose beginning to bleed more, as a vein is forming in his forehead. Dabi, if you got business with this guy, you gotta leave it till after I'm done. At least let me kill him first. No can do, big guy. This is a bit of a personal matter. Family and all that, you know? Hmm? I don't care about that. He took away my prey, and he's going to pay for that. Hmm? Prey? Yeah, your friend here was trying to kill a kid. That's pretty messed up, isn't it? Hmm? Really? Muscular, was that true? Yeah, what about it? The kid's parents took my eye. Hmm. Ah, that's really messed up. Didn't you kill his parents? Now, Midoriya, he does have his eyes widen at that statement. Before, he does begin to start sparking flames on the top of the box. That being where Dabi does look directly back at Midoriya, who does express anger at that statement. My. And Hiro was wondering when you were going to use your quirk. I'm using it right now. Hmm? So that's why you haven't made a move. Yeah, all my concentration's sort of on him. Aren't you gonna fail one day? What? You're gonna fail. You're with my sister. You've saved her life twice. I'm guessing my father set them up? What are you talking about? It's no coincidence, is it? My father starts working at UA, you start dating my sister. She's been attacked by villains twice. What then? You gained my father's approval pretty fast, didn't you? Not really. In fact, it was kinda hard to do. What do I say? Him dropping onto one knee as he does bring his hands towards his stomach. Dabi looking back at Muscular, who is currently very large, and the cube is pretty big. So, you mind explaining it all to me? Yeah, I would, but I'm kinda busy. Now, Dabi does stare at Midoriya, asking him if he truly does love his little sister. Yes, I do. What more do you want? Do you want me to tell you about your mother? Hmm? Yes. Ray Todoroki, right? Your mom. I've met her. She's a very nice lady. Now, Dabi does begin to grit his teeth, as his hand is spark with a flame. Don't say her name. Hmm? Why? To let you know that your mom's suffering? She misses you every day. You know nothing about that. What I've been through, I know. I've heard. Your brother's eye. He did the same thing to my back. I saw that. Now, you're going to leave her alone or I'm going to kill you. Hmm? Really? That's all you have to say to me? Hmm? What do you mean? Is that all? Beg for your life now, or I will fry you to a crisp. No, you won't. Why? Most men would beg for their lives at this point. I won't do that. Why? Now, Endeavor does break. Endeavor. Muscular would break free from the box at this point, as he does then begin to start rushing towards Midoriya, talking about how he's had enough of this little shit. Now, Dabi does directly go from aiming at Midoriya to aiming about 45 degrees to his left. And with his left hand, he does burst out a large amount of flames. Midoriya looking up as he does begin to start feel blood running down his eyebrow and into his eye. As he does watch the mountainside turn to, well, let's just say basically a glass floor. Dabi sends so much power towards Muscular, he completely fries and flambés the area around him, along with Muscular becoming nothing more than specks of dust in the wind. Now, Midoriya he does fall directly down onto his hands and knees, trying to catch his breath, along with trying to strum a thought together. Now, Dabi does directly walk forwards, bending down as he does grab Izuku by his hair, pulling his head backwards as he does then bring his hand up to his mouth, talking about how if he activates his flames he'll pull out every amount of oxygen he has in his lungs. And not only will they be fried from the inside out, but they'll explode before they have a chance to even be done cooking. What is his answer? Your sister and I were happy together. It's not what I want to hear you say. I won't say it. No matter how much you say you'll kill me. You love her too. She's happy with me. She misses you too. Actually, I'm grateful she's with me. I don't think I would have made it this far without her. What are you talking about? Now, Midoriya, he does say the next few words that do catch Dabi by surprise. Midoriya is saying that he wants to marry her. Now, Dabi's eyes do widen with surprise, as he does let go of Midoriya's hair. So, you won't let her go? Even when I say I'll kill you? I'll hunt you down and fry you to a crisp? No. It just means I have to fight you too. I'll beat you like I did your dad. My dad? Yeah. He was eaten through a tube for a few days. Then he was back on his feet. I would love to see that. Now, as Midoriya does say this, you do actually have Endeavor. Who? He does come flying in. Now, the moment Endeavor does come flying in, he does directly see Dabi. Him landing as he doesn't stand back up on his feet, and he does ask Midoriya if he's alright. Now, Midoriya, he does go to open his mouth. Dabi directly turning to him as he does punch him across the face. And Midoriya, he is knocked onto the ground. Dabi turning to meet the number 2 hero. My, so you're Endeavor. And who exactly would you be? Figures. I didn't think you'd recognize me. Recognize you? Exactly. Now, Dabi, he does go to bring up his hand. And he does go to let out blue flames. Endeavor's eyes widening. Those flames, they made him pause. Endeavor are going to send out one of his own blast of fire. As you do have Midoriya, who does directly go to lay out flat onto the ground. Before he does look down with his eyes directly at Dabi. And he does begin to do what he can. Dabi's sending out a large burst of flame directly in front of him. And he thinks he just took out Midoriya. However, he doesn't know what it means to be a hero. Exactly how hard they have to fight. Midoriya forming a box directly above Dabi and beginning to form it on the sides and behind him, along with under his feet. As Midoriya, he does go to stand up. Now, as that does happen, Midoriya, he does do one thing. Hey Toya. Now, Dabi does go to spin around. Him trying to bring up his other hand to try and backhand Midoriya. However, his shoulder hits a wall. And he does immediately realize what's happening. Him then turning his attention as he does go to bring his hand up and try to blast upwards into the air. Now, Toya, he stops blasting at Endeavor. Midoriya, forming the box, does never directly blast at it. Now, as it does happen, you have Endeavor who does rush forwards. Instead of him directly confronting the villain, as, well, Dabi does expect, he goes directly over to Midoriya. And he does pick the young man up. Are you alright? I'll be fine. Then again, I think you might want to talk to your son. My son? Now, Toya, he does directly bring his hand up onto the wall and say, Hey, Dad. Now, Endeavor, he just stands there for a second in shock. Toya? So you do remember me? Yeah, it's me. I'm alive. So what? Your greatest mistakes come back to haunt you. Is that what you're thinking right now? No. Endeavor, he would just simply drop Midoriya. And he does step over him. Him walking up directly to the invisible wall. As he does look down at his son. Now, this is where Toya, he does watch as Endeavor, he does begin to cry. And this catches him by surprise. And, looking at him now, the man drops to his knees and begins to sob, talking about how he's made so many different mistakes in the past. And they're all coming to bite him now, aren't they? First, that boy opened his eyes. And then there's this. His son is back. Endeavor just saying he's sorry. He's so sorry for how he treated him. He's sorry he left him there in the forest that day. He's sorry he broke his promise. And Dabi, he does just stare down surprised, as he does turn away. And he does try to think, this can't be his father. This has to be a trick, isn't it? Now, Dabi, he does begin to start gripping down his forearm, his nails beginning to dig into his skin, as he does just think, what happened to him? The man he wanted to break just shattered like glass. It's annoying. And it's pissing him off a lot. Now, we do have the other students, who they are better prepped for this attack. Mr. Aizawa and many other students are currently trying to face off against the villains. And the only problem they really do have is Mr. Compress. However, he was quickly taken down by Endeavor on his way here. One simple shot with a spear, and Mr. Compress was sent running like a coward. Since Endeavor shot him directly in the shoulder, and he was pinned to a tree for a second. Now, this was quite a surprise. And many other people, they all quickly just fled. Now, the moment people began to start leaving was quite a surprise. They didn't anticipate these guys to be this well prepped, let alone this far in their own training. Now, with that, we do have hours later, where Dabi has been taken into hero custody. And Fuyumi and many different other people have all been called. Midoriya is currently receiving medical attention. And Dabi, quote-unquote, is being held within a police holding cell, specifically made for people with fireproof quirks. Now, we do have everyone being counted, and there's only, should anyone be missing? Let me see real quick. Alrighty, I just grabbed a coin, so now let's flip it. Okay, heads for someone's missing, tails for someone's not. Alrighty. Well then, nobody has gone missing. And it was quite a shock. Now, this does look better in the eyes of the university, since their students fully repelled a villain attack. Now then, with all of that, the villains, they are annoyed. Not only did they lose a few members from this, but you also do have the fact that Dabi's in hero custody, which is not a good look for them. Now, this would be whenever we do have where Fuyumi, she would learn about this. After going to see Midoriya and visiting him while he's still in the hospital, she found her brother was alive. And this greatly just shook her to her core. She feels like someone just fired a beanbag directly into her chest, and it knocked the breath out of her. In fact, it almost made her stomach turn in a way that she was excited and happy for, but also somewhat just disgusted by. She knows her brother was supposed to have died in that fire, and she's just thinking about how he might be now. Now, with that being said, we do have, where after a lot of interviewing and, well, work, the heroes, they have at least something from Dabi. Dabi, this guy's a villain, yes. However, there's the fact that he's offering them something. Now, what Dabi has to offer is quite simple. He could have gotten a lawyer or somebody, but he's actually complying. It was a shock. After Fumi went to go see her brother, that was all he requested. He wanted to see his younger sister and see what has been going on in her life. After a short little interview, Dabi gave up all the information he had on the League of Villains. It didn't matter to him anymore. He wanted to protect his family and be there. His one goal he wanted to accomplish, break the number 2 hero, has already been done. And by someone else, who wasn't even trying. And it pissed him off. However, at the same time, he witnessed Endeavor's breaking point with his own eyes. He saw the man break down and cry and regret his actions. All he's ever wanted has just been given to him on a silver platter, and he doesn't know how to feel. Now, after Fuyumi's interviewed her older brother and talked with him, the heroes did begin to plan. Dabi gave up the location of the villain's base, and he's talked about how he wants to take them all out now. Now, this was quite confused. However, Dabi did express one thing. The locations could be fake, or they could be real. The only way to know is to let him come along with them, and to, at least at the minimum, somewhat drop his charges. Now, that was all a part of the deal. Dabi wants to be there to take out the villains because he knows for a fact if any of them get away, they're going to target his family. So he's going to stop that immediately, before it even does start. Now, this is quite a lot to unpack. However, it is allowed to somewhat go through. Since All Might, he did talk about how this young man here, him looking at the, well, monstrosity that is Dabi. Seriously, that boy needs a lot of fucking therapy. He does talk about how it's never too late for a second chance. However, let's just ignore the fact that All Might tried to murder a man. Now, with that all being said, the plan does go through. They are able to break into the villain's base and immediately capture everyone. As we do have the fight with All Might and All for One, which would take place. Now, this is quite a lot. However, you also do have Endeavor the number 2 hero, who, instead of playing a passive role in that fight, he does intervene. Him and Dabi do fight together with All Might. And as much as they do hate the idea of it, it does happen. Leaving it in the hands of the pros happens in this scenario, and the villain. And, All for One, he is defeated. And he is then locked in Tartarus prison. As, let's just talk about the rest of the scenario and the what if. Things do begin to start to align with canon, except for a few little things. Dabi's on the side of the heroes. he's getting a reduced sentence and the ability to at least see his family. Ray Todoroki, she will be getting out of the hospital. And the family dinner with the Todoroki family would go differently this time. Now, a lot of things do happen, but I will briefly gloss over it, since not really much could change for the rest of the scenario. Eri does get broken free early. In fact, that's already happened. This is something I did want to talk about, but I wanted to save it till the end of this series to talk to you guys about. The whole war arc and everything else after these events, they really don't matter. The heroes already took care of them. The villains were captured before they even started. And Eri, she got away one time and was able to talk to a pro hero. Who? Yeah. She ran into Mirio a bit early, or let's just say right on time. And she was able to tell him that this guy's a bad guy. Now, with that being said, we will cut up to about, let's just say, roughly 2 years later, where Midori and Fuyumi, they are still together. In fact, we do have Izuku Midoriya, who today he's taken down a ginormous villain. And he was able to get them to turn off their quirk by putting them in a box super tiny. Now, Midoriya, he does stand there, him with his capture scarf and his flame retardant hero suit. As many different people ask Mr. Midoriya, the current number 4 hero, exactly how did it all happen? Oh, well, today that was quite simple. You see, what I did was this villain has the ability to, Midoriya quickly explaining it, as that does deform into muttering. Now, the reporter does break Midoriya's muttering streak by asking exactly why Mr. Izuku didn't take on the name of the Todoroki family. I'm sorry, what? Why would I do that? They're a prestigious hero family. Surely that name would be good for you. Why would I take it on? Listen, I'm not doing this for popularity. I'm just doing this to be a hero. Wow. Bold words coming from you. Why is that? Well, you are married to the number 2 hero's daughter. Yeah, I do understand that, but it's not like that. It's not a quirk marriage or anything either, if anyone's thinking about that. We're happily married. In fact, well, we're kind of expecting our own little bundle of joy soon. I'm sorry, did you just announce to the world that you're having a child on live television? This is live? Shit. Oh god, she's going to kill me. So, you're more afraid of your wife than you are of a villain. You are a wise man, Izuku. I have to hurry home. But what to say? Him flying away. Now, we do have over with Izuku and his wife, Fuyumi Midoriya, where Midoriya, he does fly into their home. And Fuyumi does talk about how Midoriya, he shouldn't have announced that yet. Sorry. Listen, are you okay? No, I'm not. Besides, I'm having one of my cravings. Okay, what do you want this time? Sorry, I had to deal with that. Why? It was close to the supermarket. Do you really want me to fly across town again to get your stuff? Now, Fuyumi does pout, telling Midoriya that that supermarket over there sucks. I know. Besides, it doesn't have the brand of things you like. Okay, you're forgiven. Now, Fuyumi would give Midoriya a list, talking about how he needs to pick up these things immediately. As Midoriya, he does fly away, as he does deal with his hardest task yet, pregnancy cravings. Yeah, If anyone knows the weird type of shit that pregnant women eat, they completely understand. Anyways, now, with all that, Midoriya would return, as soon the world will have another family, or at least another pro hero who's happily married. Now, very soon the bundle of joy will be born, and you do have the little angel that would be Midoriya's daughter and Endeavor's granddaughter. Now, with all that being said, I do believe that I can end this series here. And I do hope you guys enjoy that ending. Catch you guys in the next series.